Hi folks, welcome. Mr. Deep here. Today's question is, what is the Matrix? You may remember the movie, the Matrix movie, and Morpheus says to Neo, you can't be told what the Matrix is, you have to experience it. And what I will tell you in this video is, I guess, my ideas and my experience of the Matrix. And essentially, it's our world as a hyperdimensional control system. The world seems normal to many people, but essentially it's an illusion. And what I would say is that, many people are aware of control systems within the 3D world we experience. However, not many people are aware of a control system that is hyperdimensional, that exists in other dimensions but penetrate into our 3D reality. And what I mean by hyperdimensional is, on the one hand, spiritual control, and on the other hand, technological control. And this moves into the area of, you could say, alien control, or, as I said, other dimensional. So essentially, we have the spiritual world, which is positive and negative. And the top of the 3D world is heavily involved in black magic. Then you have what I call the artificial spiritual world, which is a blend of spiritual and psych manipulation technology. And that leads us to artificial intelligence, which in my view is the modern manifestation of a very old technology. And there's also a link, if you do your research, between black magic and this mind control technology. And there's a quote that comes to mind: if you look for long enough into the abyss looks back at you. Essentially, you only realize the Matrix if you seek it. It's a bit like Neo, who is seeking to understand the Matrix. And I can relate to Neo in the sense that feeling that there's something very, very wrong with this world that we're living in. And the Matrix is only real when you start to wake up. It's like a certain force gets activated when one demonstrates awakening acts. It's almost like a program that runs along, but if you start to sort of realize the matrix nature of reality, bots or algorithms or systems come into place to keep a man asleep or to oppose those awakening steps. And on the flip side, the matrix is essentially invisible if you follow the control program. And this control program essentially is you as an energy slave. It's where all of your labor and all of your psychic energy is essentially harvested. And I think in the world today, most people are essentially energy slaves. And we also have some people fighting this sort of externalist 3D matrix system, but there's not so many people aware of the tentacles that run into the 3D system beyond the 3D world. One guy to consider is Wes Penray. Now, originally, most of his research was to do with these particular secret society groups, and he was, I guess, surprised because when he got to the very top, it moved into the non-physical or the dimensions beyond this reality, and how we're being manipulated by hidden and unseen forces, which led him to a deep study of, I guess you could call it exopolitics, but also he studied ancient history, etc. It's also important to consider that this hyperdimensional control system is reflected in our many religions and spiritual ideas that have been handed down to us that still essentially makes us energy slaves. If you can imagine this system as a sort of computer, in that there is a program to suit every mind or to trap every type of mind, the simple and the, I guess you could say, the advanced mind. This system uses divine principles, but it also adds anti-divine principles. It distorts, infiltrates, and even creates these religious and spiritual programs. I think it's important to remember too that the way this system actually works is also to give a fake awakening. In other words, the system is very good at giving a person the idea that they're waking up from the system while still being asleep. The good news is the matrix can be overcome and transcended, but like Neo, we have to remove all of the plugs that are connecting us to this particular control system. The matrix is essentially parasitic, but it's also symbiotic. There's a relationship. In other words, there's almost like an unseen agreement in that there are things in you that either consciously or unconsciously connects you and binds you to the system, and the role is to unbind or to break all of those inner contracts. And it's also important to awaken from the inner matrix and escape the inner matrix, and then also you can then deal with the outer matrix. There's many people chasing they're waking up to this external matrix, but essentially there's still things within them that are keeping them plugged in to that overall matrix. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's a short video, and I hope there's something in there for you to consider. Thanks for your time.